The Treaty of Versailles, signed in 1919, officially ended World War I, but imposed severe penalties on Germany. These included substantial territorial losses, disarmament, and heavy reparations payments. The treaty left Germany economically crippled, politically humiliated, and socially fractured. The Weimar Republic, established in Germany after World War I, faced immense challenges from the start. Hyperinflation in the early 1920s wiped out savings and led to widespread poverty. Political instability, with frequent changes in government and extremist uprisings from both the left and right, made it difficult for the Republic to maintain control. Adolf Hitler was born in Austria in 1889. As a young man, he moved to Munich, Germany, and served in the German army during World War I. The war deeply influenced him, and he emerged with a strong sense of nationalism and a profound hatred for the Treaty of Versailles. In 1919, Hitler joined the German Workers' Party, which later became the National Socialist German Workers' Party, NSDAP or Nazi Party. His oratory skills and propaganda prowess quickly elevated him to a leadership position within the party. In 1923, Hitler and the Nazis attempted a coup known as the Munich Putsch. The coup failed, and Hitler was arrested and sentenced to prison. During his time in jail, he wrote Mein Kampf, My Struggle, outlining his ideology of Aryan racial superiority, anti-Semitism, and the need for Lebensraum, living space, for the German people. After his release from prison, Hitler focused on reorganizing and expanding the Nazi Party. He aimed to gain power through legal means rather than by force. The party's propaganda emphasized nationalism, anti-Semitism, anti-communism, and the promise to overturn the Treaty of Versailles and restore Germany's greatness. The onset of the Great Depression in 1929 devastated the global economy, and Germany was particularly hard hit. Unemployment soared, and economic hardship fueled social unrest. The Weimar government struggled to cope with the crisis, leading many Germans to lose faith in democratic institutions. The Nazis capitalized on the economic turmoil, presenting themselves as the solution to Germany's problems. In the 1930 elections, the Nazi Party made significant gains, becoming the second largest party in the Reichstag, German parliament. By 1932, they were the largest party, though they did not have an outright majority. Despite their electoral success, Hitler did not immediately become chancellor. However, through political maneuvering and backroom deals, conservative politicians and influential business leaders who believed they could control Hitler convinced President Paul von Hindenburg to appoint him as Chancellor on January 30, 1933. Shortly after Hitler became Chancellor, the Reichstag building was set on fire. The Nazis blamed the fire on communists, using the incident to justify a crackdown on political opponents. The Reichstag fire decree suspended civil liberties and allowed for the arrest of political adversaries. In March 1933, the Reichstag passed the Enabling Act, which gave Hitler the power to enact laws without parliamentary consent. This act effectively dismantled the Weimar Republic's democratic institutions and paved the way for Hitler's dictatorship. Hitler moved quickly to eliminate all opposition. The Night of the Long Knives in 1934 saw the purging of the SA, Sturmabteilung, leadership, and other political rivals. After President Hindenburg's death in August 1934, Hitler combined the positions of Chancellor and President, declaring himself Führer, leader of Germany. The Nazi regime utilized extensive propaganda to maintain control and manipulate public opinion. Joseph Goebbels, the Minister of Propaganda, orchestrated a massive campaign to promote Nazi ideology, glorify Hitler, and demonize Jews and other perceived enemies. The Hitler Youth and the League of German Girls were established to indoctrinate young Germans with Nazi beliefs from an early age. The Nazis swiftly implemented policies of persecution against Jews, communists, trade unionists, and other groups. The Nuremberg Laws of 1935 institutionalized racial discrimination against Jews, stripping them of their citizenship and rights. The Gestapo secret police and the SS Schutzstaffel enforced Nazi policies through terror and brutality, crushing any dissent. Defying the Treaty of Versailles, Hitler embarked on a massive rearmament program, rebuilding Germany's military strength. The regime pursued an aggressive foreign policy, aiming to expand German territory. The remilitarization of the Rhineland in 1936, the annexation of Austria in 1938, Anschluss, and the occupation of the Sudetenland, followed by the invasion of Czechoslovakia, demonstrated Hitler's expansionist ambitions. European powers, particularly Britain and France, initially pursued a policy of appeasement, hoping to avoid another devastating conflict. The Munich Agreement of 1938 allowed Germany to annex the Sudetenland in exchange for a promise of no further territorial expansion. However, Hitler's continued aggression made it clear that appeasement would not secure peace. On September 1, 1939, Germany invaded Poland, prompting Britain and France to declare war on Germany. This invasion marked the beginning of World War II, as Nazi Germany sought to dominate Europe through military conquest. Hitler's vision of a racially pure empire led to the systematic extermination of 6 million Jews and millions of other victims in the Holocaust. The war brought unprecedented destruction and loss of life, reshaping the global order and leaving an indelible scar on human history. Adolf Hitler's rise to power was facilitated by a combination of economic hardship, political instability, and his own ruthless ambition. Exploiting the weaknesses of the Weimar Republic, he manipulated public discontent and used propaganda, terror, and political maneuvering to establish a totalitarian regime. The consequences of his dictatorship were catastrophic, leading to a devastating global conflict and the genocide of millions. The rise of Hitler serves as a stark reminder of the dangers of unchecked power, extremist ideologies, and the fragility of democratic institutions.